Hey guys, let me tell you guys something. I left my full time job with no savings, and I don't recommend you do what I did. It worked out for me, yes, but those first few months were extremely rough, real rough. The first few years were rough. So, today I'm going to teach you how to know when you're actually ready to go full time and how to do it better than I did. Okay. My name's out there, hers. I always forget this part. And I'm the managing broker over at Arla Real Estate in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. I've sold over 100 million in my career sales, and I have this conversation with so many agents who are trying to figure out if they are ready to go full time. So let's break it down, and let's break it down the real way, not the motivational way. Like, let's be real about this, okay? All right, so let me start with my story because I think it's important to know where I'm coming from, right? I left my full time job with no savings, $0 in the bank for cushion at all, nothing, right? And before you think to yourself, like, oh my God, that is so inspiring. No, in all actuality, you guys, it was reckless. Like, it was a reckless decision, but I had instruction to do so and I got blessed, right? So I want you to hold on to the both of those. Like, I had instruction to do so and I got blessed on the way. And I don't say that to be humble. I say that to be truthful, right? Because it's truth. I made the decision to quit my job ultimately out of frustration. I was tired of my job. I was tired of not having control over my time. I was tired of deploying and missing my kids. I was just tired. I was a full-time boots on the ground officer. I worked for the FBI. I did the 6 years with the Secret Service. I did 3 years with the FBI. I was traveling. I was assigned to everybody's campaign. And before you know it, God gave me a day. He gave me a day. I was in Ohio and I heard God clearly say, "This is it." I was obedient to that, and before you know it, you guys, I quit. I just quit. I literally quit. But I got instruction. Did y'all hear that? I said I got instruction, and then I quit. Right. So the first few months was stressful. I was anxious. I was waking up in the middle of the night, wondering like, where's my next paycheck coming from? And also asking myself if God had really told me to do what I just did. Like, I was questioning what I just did. Like, did I do the right thing? Was that me? Or was that God? Because of my fear, I began making decisions out of desperation instead of strategy. I was chasing deals I should not have chased. I was saying yes to things I should have said no to, and I was also saying yes to clients I should have said no to. And eventually, I got through it. I figured it out and I built the business, right? But I don't want that for you unless God told you to, not you told you to. So heavy on that part, heavy on God telling you to, because you don't have to struggle the way that I did. And you don't have instruction. And if you don't have instruction, you might not be prepared for that struggle. Okay. So seek that instruction first so you can be more prepared and you can do it better. So let's talk about what going full time is not about. Okay. It's not about you receiving one big commission check or having three closings and thinking, like, oh, you know what? I can do this. Because one closing, three closings, or one big check doesn't mean you have a sustainable business. It just means you got blessed and business was good that month. That's real estate. It's not about being tired of your job and wanting to escape either. That's not what it's about. Because if you're running from something instead of running to something, you're still going to struggle. It's not about feeling inspired after watching some motivational video or seeing somebody else quit their job or hearing somebody else's story. Because guess what happens? That inspiration fades. And when it does, you need something stronger to keep you going. Do you have that? And it's also not about me or anyone else out here telling you that you're ready, because I don't know your situation. I don't know your finances. I don't know your family dynamics. I don't know your mental state. I don't know your spirit. Going full time is spiritual first. You need instruction from God. And I know some of y'all might be rolling your eyes and like, listen, I don't know, but I'm telling you, this decision to shift into full time entrepreneurship is too big for you to make without divine guidance, because going full time is going to affect every area of your life. It's going to affect your finances, it's going to affect your family, it's going to affect your relationships, your mental health, your identity. So before you make this move, You need to be in alignment spiritually. You need clarity, you need peace, you need confirmation. And if you don't have that, don't do it just yet. Wait, pray about it. Seek counsel. Get clear. God says that in his word. Seek counsel. Seek wise counsel, right? Because we can't forget that part. But if you move without that spiritual alignment, you're going to struggle in ways you did not expect, in ways that you are not prepared for. But beyond the spiritual piece, going full time is about three things. I put up 10 fingers, three things, right? Stability, systems, and repeatability. It's not about hoping it works out. It's about knowing it's going to work because you've built that foundation first. Think of a house. You build that first. And here's the thing, going full time looks different for every single person. It really depends on your personality. It depends on your mental toughness. It depends on your risk threshold. It depends on your financial situation, your support system. Some people can handle a lot of risk. They can quit their job with $1,000 in the bank and figure it out. I was one of those people. I literally had zero saved and told everyone who questioned me, anybody that questioned me, I told them that I had 6 months saved just to shut them up because I couldn't let their limiting beliefs or their opinions attach to me. I knew that I had instruction. I knew that I had to stay focused and I knew that I had to stay in line. So I just told them what they wanted to hear to cut the conversation early in order to protect my mental, right? However, other people need a safety net, and that might be you. You may feel like, hey, I need to have 6 months of expenses saved. I need to have that structure and security before I can take that leap. Maybe that's how your life operates, right? And either way, both of them are okay. Both of those are okay. The key is knowing yourself and building a plan that works specifically for you. Not what works for me, not what somebody on social media or the internet says you should do, but works for you. I have this saying that I always tell my agents, which is chew the meat, spit the bone, right? I've heard it before and I hear that as an old time saying, and it's just basically saying we take in so much, right? We have information overload, we have opinion overload, we have insight overload. We take in so much, but the things that we take in, we have to be able to differentiate what is applicable to us in our current season and what's not. Whatever is, chew that meat, right? Whatever isn't, spit that bone. Okay. So let me break down what you actually need before you go full time. Number one, you need an emergency cushion. I did not have that, and it was a mistake for me. Full time does not mean broke, but hopeful. It means prepare. And I'll also tell you guys this: when I went full time, after I went full time in May. It was my birthday gift to myself. That's what God told me, and I ended up pregnant with my second daughter by July. So not only did I not have savings, I left my job, and now I'm pregnant. Okay, that was not a part of the plan. And that's why I was questioning myself so much. But I had so big of a conviction and instruction from God that I knew I had to keep this going. Okay. So if you decide that you want to go full time, this does not mean that you do it broke but hopeful, but you do want to prepare because you just never know what that next 30 days could look like for you. You need savings, real money that is set aside that you can access if things were to get tight. And they do sometimes, they do. So, how much? At minimum, they say 3 to 6 months of living expenses. I'm going to say they say because I'm never going to teach or talk on something that I know nothing about. And I did not do that. Right now, have I read that in books? Yes. But I did not do that. That was not my testimony. But if you need it, they say 3 to 6 months of living expenses. And if you have a family, if you have kids, if you have dependents, then you might need more, right? But here's the reality. When you go full time, your income is going to be inconsistent. There's no way around that. Some months you'll close 3 deals, some months you'll close zero, right? And if you don't have a cushion, you're going to panic. You're going to panic. And when you panic, you make bad decisions. When you panic, you start chasing deals that aren't good for you. You start dropping your commission just to get something closed. You start second guessing yourself and your abilities. You start losing your faith. You start connecting and attaching to people that you have no business being around. So build the cushion first. If Build the cushion first. It gives you that peace of mind, and it gives you the space to operate from a position of strength instead of desperation. Here's what I learned: courage, faith, and instruction got me to quit my job. But structure, prayer, and discipline is what kept me from failing. If I had to do it all over again, I definitely would have saved some money first. I would have built more stability for myself, for my family, right before I made the leap. I would have asked God, like, God, I need to save a little something first. Like, don't you think so? Like, I know you gave me the instruction to leave, but you ain't tell me save. So I would definitely go back to God and say, listen, let your will be done. Align my will with your will. But I think we missed the part. So don't do what I did, you guys. Do it better. Number two, you need to control your time now, right? This is huge. A lot of agents think if I just quit my job, I'll have more time to focus on real estate. Have you told yourself that before? I'm pretty sure that you have. But if you don't have control over your time now, you won't have control over your time when you go full time. What you'll end up doing is you'll end up becoming your very own worst employee. And here's the thing about that: having more time doesn't mean you use it wisely. In fact, a lot of agents who go full time end up less productive because they don't have structure. They don't have accountability. They don't have a plan. So before you quit, prove to yourself that you can manage your time. Can you ask yourself these questions? Can you block out time for lead generation and actually stick to that? Can you do that? Can you follow up with your database consistently even when you don't feel like it? Can you even build your database? Right? Can you show up on social media without somebody telling you that you have to do this? Can you prioritize the income producing activities over the busy work and separate the two? Can you let go and delegate so that way you can focus on what drives income into your business? If you can't do that now with the job, you're not going to magically do it when you're full time. This is not going to just magically poof and appear. So learn to be your best employee before you quit, not your worst. Okay. Number three, you guys, you need at least three reliable lead sources. Principle three of three. And when I say reliable, I don't mean that you're like, oh, girl, I post on social media sometimes. Oh, I did an open house. Oh, I send out some mailers. Oh, I got a couple of people that I talk to. No, I mean three lead sources that you are actively committed to that are producing results for you. We're talking social media. We're looking at open houses, community events, you're door knocking, you're cold calling, you have a sphere of influence, you're sending out mailers, you're doing geographical farming, whatever it is, you're hosting community events, you're sponsoring other businesses or networking with them. You need to pick three and master them and make sure that they're working for you before you go full time. When you quit your job, you're going to wake up some days anxious about where your next deal is coming from. And if you don't have a reliable lead source or three reliable lead sources that you trust, that anxiety is going to cripple you. It will handicap you. And sometimes it can really destroy you. You don't have capacity for that. You're going to start second guessing everything. You're going to start jumping strategy to strategy. You're going to lose focus. So build those lead sources now, test them out, refine them, and make sure they work before you jump. And here's another thing: having multiple lead sources also, it protects you, you guys, especially the way that this world moves, right? It protects you. If one dries up, you have two others, right? If the market shifts, you're not dependent on just one strategy. You have two others. Diversification in your lead generation is just as important as diversification in your investments. Number four, you need to understand lead flow without panic. And this honestly, goes hand in hand with number three. Being full time means there are going to be slow days, there will be slow weeks, and maybe even slow months. And you need to be emotionally ready for that. Okay. Can you handle waking up and not knowing where your next paycheck is coming from? Because that is very real. Can you handle the inconsistencies as it relates to the business? Can you handle the delayed gratification? putting in the work now and not seeing your results for 30, 60, 90, or 90 days or even 12 months? Can you stay disciplined when the leads aren't coming in as fast as you want or you desire? Can you stay committed when a deal you were counting on falls through at the very last minute? Or the client that you've been working with that you've been working hard to close now decides they no longer want to sell or buy. If you can't handle that, you're not ready yet. And that's okay. Work on building that mental toughness first. Work on building the trust in the process first. The agents who fail when they go full time aren't the ones who lack skill. They're the ones who can't handle the emotional roller coaster of inconsistent income. Okay. Number five, you need emotional readiness. And this one, people don't talk about enough. I feel like, right? Going full time as an entrepreneur means a lot of things that most people aren't prepared for. As I said before, you're going to have inconsistent income. You're going to have to also shift your environment. You're going to have to be willing to be called crazy and stupid. And some family and friends won't support you or believe in you. Heck, even your spouse. Can you handle that without spiraling? You're going to experience delayed gratification. The work you put in today might not pay off for a year. Can you stay motivated through that? You're going to need self accountability. Nobody's going to tell you what to do, when to do it. That's on you. Can you hold yourself accountable without any external pressure? You're going to have to make decisions alone. True big decisions, financial decisions, business decisions, transactional decisions. And you can't afford to be indecisive. So, can you decide? Can you make tough calls without second guessing yourself into a paralysis, right? You're going to have to invest money in yourself too. Marketing, we have education, you got systems, CRMs, photography, coaching, all of the things. And sometimes that investment won't pay off immediately. Can you handle spending money now for a return later? You guys, after around about 3 years full time, I ended up investing in a coach. And I will tell you all right now, my coach was very expensive. It was around about $35,000 a year. Okay. Can you handle spending money now for return later? You're going to have to scale back on things. You might not be able to show up at every birthday party, every outing, every happy hour, every girl's day out, every guy's day out, every vacation, every event. You're going to have to say no to the people that you care about. And that's hard. Can you set those boundaries without any guilt? And you're going to have to also create an entire new identity. Okay? An entire new identity. And let me explain what I mean by that. When you go from W2 to entrepreneur, you're not just shifting and changing jobs. You're changing your entire identity. You're recreating what you believe about money. Most W2 employees are taught to save, be conservative, and avoid risk. Entrepreneurs have learned to invest, take calculated risks, and spend money to make money. You're recreating what you believe about business. You're no longer trading time for money. You're building leverage. You're building systems. You're thinking long term instead of paycheck to paycheck. You're recreating what you believe you deserve. A lot of people have a ceiling on how much they think that they should make. Going full time forces you to break through that ceiling and believe that you're worthy of more. Fear of success is real. Do you truly believe in that? Do you truly believe that you deserve it? You're going from someone who gets a guaranteed paycheck every 2 weeks to someone who has to go out and create their own income. You're going from someone who has a boss and a structure supervisor and a structure to someone who has to create their own structure and be their own boss. You're going from someone who shows up and does what they're told to someone who has to figure it out on their own. That is a massive shift if you have not looked at it that way. And it requires you to become a different version of yourself. And this is the thing, you guys. When I also left, I didn't leave immediately. God prepared me for a year before he gave me the date. Like first he gave me the instruction, leave your job, right? And he didn't tell me when, so I didn't make a move. But some months went by, and he released a date to me. And I remember writing the date down in my journal as, hey, I have to leave my job on this day. But what I did not know, now that I look back in hindsight, is that God was preparing me mentally. My head was in so many books. I was writing so many things. I was in my journal, in my Bible. I was manifesting. I was declaring, I was decreeing, I was shifting who I was mentally before I could physically make that shift. So I have to say that again, you guys, is that it's a massive shift and it requires you to become a different version of yourself. Things that used to hold you back, fear, doubt, limiting beliefs, insecurity, saying yes, people pleasing, none of that can hold you back anymore. You have to be somebody else in order to get where you want to go next. You have to recreate the entire identity. And that process of becoming that new person, that process of unlearning all the things you were taught is uncomfortable. It's messy, and it's also very painful at times. So I definitely recommend getting a therapist, okay? However, it's necessary. So here's my position on this entire thing, right? I'm not going to push you to quit your job. I'm not out here saying just take the leap and figure it out, because that's what I did. And while it worked out for me, it could have easily gone the other way. And not only that, again, I got instruction from God, right? What I'm doing and what I'm saying is I'm teaching you how to decide, right? I'm telling you to ask yourself these questions. Do I have structure in place? Do I have the systems in place? Do I have self-trust? Have I asked God for instruction? Do I have the financial cushion to weather the storms? Do I have reliable lead sources? And am I emotionally ready for what this requires? If the answer to any of those is no, then you're not ready yet. And that is totally okay. Take the time to build the foundation first. Save the money, build the lead sources, master your time management, work on your mindset, pray about it, and get clear. And when everything lines up spiritually, financially, emotionally, practically, then you will know. Because going full time is not the goal, being prepared is. All right, you guys, that's it for today. If this resonated with you, make sure that you subscribe and share it with another agent who is considering or trying to go full time. And they're like, hey, listen, I'm just ready to go, right? And also drop a comment. Are you already full time or are you still building that foundation? I would love to know where you're at. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, be sure to make sure that you follow me here, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at I am out there Hearst, and also I am the realtor coach. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.